Hey guys, welcome to the Real Deal video blog, and this week I want to talk about stepping up and taking responsibility. So it's good to take responsibility in life, right? I mean, it's something your parents have probably told you since you were young. I know that my grandfather always stressed to me the importance of being a man and taking responsibility. Not that you need to be a man to take responsibility, of course, but the lesson is that it's the right thing to do, right? Although sometimes it isn't always clear exactly what it means to take responsibility, but when it comes to recovery, the importance of taking responsibility is a lot more concrete. So people in an active addiction tend to do the opposite of taking responsibility. Well, first of all, they tend to dodge responsibilities. They don't show up for work. They definitely don't show up for the people who need them. And when it comes to addiction, everything else tends to come after the drugs and alcohol. That's just the way it works. It doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It's just how the disease goes. And people also tend to point the finger. Their problems are usually someone else's fault. Things are someone else's responsibility, and they need to take care of them. And, I empathize with that. It's an easy thing to do when you're in that position, but a crucial part of recovery is breaking free of that mindset. And that can happen. It's not always easy, and it can happen in a few different ways. And the first step towards making that happen is accepting responsibility for things. It's almost similar to the inventory process in the 12 steps if you're familiar with that. And if you're not familiar, it's where you look at all the negative interactions you've had with people, all the resentments, and then you look at that for what your part in that is. And when it comes to real life and life in general, it can work in a very similar way. You may not have control over everything that happens, and sometimes in life you're just dealt a bad hand. There's no doubt about that. But you do have the choice to take responsibility for the things that you do have power over. And you also have the choice of how you want to react to the things that happen to you. Things can look very different for two people who react differently, even if they're dealt that same bad hand in life, like I talked about. So taking action and empowering yourself here, that's an important first step. And the next step is pretty simple. It's just showing up. I have yet to meet someone in active addiction who was reliable and dependable, but at the same time I've met countless people in recovery who are fantastic people, very reliable, very dependable. They show up all the time. They're some of the best people that I know. And the good news is these are skills that can be built up just like any other skill with practice. And it can start as simply as getting a job and showing up every day. And it can mean maybe helping out others who need it in your recovery circle. If you've been around recovery circles, you know that there's always someone who's struggling. And it can definitely mean showing up for the people who need you, like your family. Basically, recovery is your chance to step up and be better than you were before. It's definitely not always easy. It can be a difficult process, hard to take on, a little bit painful sometimes, but if you choose to do it, you will see who you always had the potential to be.